Hello, my name's John Kane, and in the next 30 minutes, I want to share some information with you about a company called Jeunesse Global. The person that sent you this video is in hopes that you'll watch the video through and get back with them and allow them the opportunity to answer the questions that you might have about certain areas of information that I don't, for the sake of 30 minutes, have the time to drill into. Okay, so with that, let's get started. And I want to switch this over and bring up some slides that I want to share with you. The company, as I mentioned, is called Jeunesse Global. Now, Jeunesse Global exists in the network marketing business format in that area. All right. Now, if you're familiar with network marketing at all, or whether you are or whether you're not, I wasn't when I was first introduced to this industry, and I was full of all the public hearsay. As soon as someone mentioned that word, I thought, oh, that's one of those businesses that are maybe not legal, or the word pyramid comes out, or that's one of those businesses where you chase your friends and try and sell them something. And I had all the public hearsay, but not a whole lot of knowledge about it until I took the time and I looked into what do business people think? What do those that are really well known in business and industry? Here's what I found out. You might recognize some of these faces. So when I read about what they think about, what the Oracle of Omaha here, Warren Buffett. Warren owns 5 or 6 of these network marketing companies. Now, he doesn't make a habit of putting his money in the wrong place. So when you think about, well, he made the decision once to buy one of these businesses, no, he made that decision 5 or 6 times. All right. Bill Gates. Bill says, if I had it all to do over again, I'd start in the network marketing industry because the risk is so low, the cost of entry is so low, and the upside is so high. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the famous series of books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert says, you know what? Wealthy people build networks. They build leverage. They build networks that span around the world. Richard Branson, the CEO and the founder of Virgin Airlines, has the same kind of favorable opinion of the network marketing industry. Little fact down in the corner, 82% of the women in this industry, that make over $100,000, do so in this industry, network marketing or direct sales. When I started to look into things, I realized very quickly, these were people that are well known in business and industry, well respected, very successful. They had a whole different set of information than the folks that I was talking to. The folks that had all these crazy terms. You know, the guy next door, the person on the job site, the person in the cube next to me that had nothing but negative information. You know, sometimes people that know the least know it the loudest, and they want you to know that. And they speak as though it's fact. Well, not really. Let's jump into this, all right? What makes a difference? Where's the difference really lie? Here's a piece of it. Traditional marketing says we're going to spend millions of dollars every day to try and capture your eye and capture your spend, your hard-earned dollar, all right? To the extent that we may overdo it. So it gets to the point where you don't trust the advertising anymore. You hear about unsubstantiated claims or false advertising, and we've reached a point where 7 out of 10 of us don't even believe the marketing message itself. All right, but they're spending millions of dollars there. Those dollars still exist in the network marketing industry, however, in a different way. Those millions of dollars are available to you and I for simply using a product and sharing that product or recommending that product with someone else. So you may hear the comment, well, no one in that industry ever makes any money. Well, you look at the bottom of the slide here and realize that $200 million is paid out every day in this industry. It's a $2 trillion global industry. So here again, having the facts is different than having the hearsay or some made up information. All right. When we're through in the next 30 minutes, you're going to have a set of facts that most people don't have. People that you might be talking to certainly don't have. All right. So that's the difference. That's where the money goes. That's where the money comes from. Instead of being spent on advertising, it's made available to folks like you and I. How do we access that money? Simply by using a product and doing what you're already doing what you've been doing all your life, and you probably continue to do that, all right, is sharing a product, word of mouth advertising. We recommend books, we recommend restaurants, we recommend where to shop or where to vacation. We even recommend websites. So it's word of mouth advertising, it's word of mouth advertising, where to Google things, okay? That format is what moves goods and services. Here's the owners of Jeunesse. A little bit about their history, and there's a whole video on them. Randy, his wife Wendy, their son Scott. They put their business in the network marketing industry for a couple reasons. Let me share that with you. Randy comes from a childhood of just poverty, unbelievable conditions. He set a goal for himself to be a millionaire at the age of 35, and he hit that goal, all right? Built several multi-million-dollar companies, he and his wife Wendy. She has double doctorate degrees in mathematics and statistics. So they built businesses, and they became consultants to other businesses. Some of those businesses in the network marketing industry. Their son Scott has worked side by side with them, watching them do that. Today he serves as the chief visionary officer. He leads the day in and day out growth and development of the Jeunesse company. All right. The way Jeunesse came about, the way it was launched, Randy was seeing a Dr. Nathan Newman in California, getting some work done on his knee. And while he's visiting the doctor, he sees a little vial of product on the shelf, and the doctor explains to him, well, that's a serum that I've developed, a humanitarian effort for folks that have skin problems or scars and burns and acne and stretch marks and all that. The serendipity is that after using the product for a while, they're looking 10 years younger. Well, that statement set off an alarm for Randy and Wendy. They had seen the network marketing industry. They had helped companies automate their systems and get their compensation plans together, but they had never owned a network marketing company. Hearing that statement about looking younger using this product just lit them up. They thought, well, this product is ideal for the network marketing industry. That's what launched Jeunesse. They followed that same scenario of finding a doctor who had developed the product, who had been in the lab, knew the research, knew all the clinical data and everything behind it. They followed that same scenario and worked with a number of doctors to develop an entire product line. Now, the important point here is a lot of companies in this industry, if you're looking at other network marketing companies, many of them do not have that scenario to talk about. They simply come across the product, somebody develops something, they bring in a doctor or someone with credentials to hold the product up and point at it, and it's just a little light in credibility. That's not the case here. I've met all these doctors. Their credentials and their capabilities are just unbelievable. What they've done in the areas of stem cell research, DNA repair, youthful rejuvenation. The word jeunesse is French for youth, okay? Helping people look and feel younger. That's led to the development of this circle of products. Now, you've never seen these products before because they don't exist in the big box stores. They don't exist in the convenience stores anywhere. But I want to give you some essential facts about this product line that's been developed. All right, so they're part of an everyday anyway spend. You're already using skincare products. You're already doing something for weight management or wellness or nutrition or maybe buying energy drinks. This is money that's already in your budget. We're not asking you to spend anything different. Just shift the spending from supporting someone else's product to now maybe supporting your product, okay? So it's anyway money. The products are notice line. You want to have a product when people use it and you recommend it to your friends that, wow, they're coming back to you going, my skin feels different. That little ache and pain is gone. Well, this is terrific, okay? Or I'm getting such an amazing night's sleep using that AM, PM product. I feel refreshed every day. All right, so it's a notice line product. The products are not age or gender specific. So I don't want to have a product that's only designed for someone that's 30 to 45 years of age or something. I don't want to narrow my marketplace. I don't want to have a product that's only specific to women or specific to men. Anyone can use these products, all right, at any age. My grandchildren have used many of these products from 8 to 80 and beyond. So I want to take the largest path of the population that I can and have market appeal. Now, the other part of that is these are subscription-based products. Well, what do I mean by that? Subscription-based says, if I'm using a product and it makes me feel that good, I don't want to run out of it. I don't want to go a month without it. So I can set up a monthly replenishment. We call it smart delivery because it's smart just to have it delivered. All right, pretty obvious. Now, all that is great, but what about the market appeal? I can bring the product to market. If nobody needs it, then I don't have much of a business. All those little blue rings there represent the billions of dollars in the marketplace that's out there. All right, that's the market demand. So when you look at hair care over here, 78.8 billion. By the way, that little product right next to that bubble is last year's product of the year in the men's hair care industry. All right, so that's the kind of science and the kind of credibility, the quality behind the product line. But you can look around that, all those circles, you add them up, it's $500 billion in market demand for products that you could represent. Right? That kind of market demand, that kind of the quality of those products, and we have videos that are available on all of them that can be sent to you. But that's led Jeunesse, a 10-year-old company, to hit this kind of a mark within their first 6 years. So in year number 6, they had their first $1 billion calendar year. You can see other folks that play in the same league with us. Apple did the same thing. Facebook did the same thing. Amazon did it in 4. But that's the league that Jeunesse deals in. This is not a mom and pop little hobby business. Not that there's anything wrong with the mom and pop business industry. That's the backbone of this country in many, many ways, all right? But this is a major global player that you can align with. Now, the idea that they hit $1 billion in year 6 is not a one-off. It's not an anomaly and you hang your hat and you bang your drum around your best year ever. That's not it. This company has done that consistently, and it's growing. Last year, 1.46 billion, record-setting year. So if you're going to build a business, you want a company that has terrific products, that's growing, that's moving, and that you can leverage and make some money. Now, when we talk about making money, and we'll cover that a little bit later, but I want to pass along something to you. There's thousands of companies in this industry. There's a small handful of them that are really cutting edge and really leading the industry. That's where Jeunesse is. There was an article just released, some research from last year, the top 100 income earners in the entire industry. 17 of them exist with Jeunesse. Now you might say, well, that's not a really big number, but consider this. Jeunesse is only 10 years old. The company that is number 2 only had 9. And they're 60 years old. They're 6 times the age of Jeunesse. They had 9. In 10 years, we doubled that. So if I want to join a company where I'm most likely to succeed, that's some pretty strong evidence, all right? That kind of product line, that kind of market appeal has led to a global business. Jeunesse merchandises in 150 countries. That slides off by 1 or 2. 150 countries around the world. Now, you might think, well, gee, why would I want a business all around the world? I know people in my neighborhood. I have relatives that live in a neighboring state. Well, the Oracle of Omaha here, Warren Buffett, has a great quote. He says, if you don't learn how to make money when you're sleeping, you're going to work till you die. Well, this format would allow you to do that. It would allow you to make money while you're sleeping. You see, business in different time zones. You may have friends that live in Germany or France or Asia or wherever, Africa. We have business around the globe, 150 countries. You can leverage that. The expertise of Randy and Wendy in software and building businesses led them to develop something called J-World. So I have a global platform. I have a mobile platform, J-Mobile and J-Office, JMJO, upon which I can leverage the technology, leverage mobile platforms, build a business around the world. So it's no longer a home-based business. It becomes a phone-based business. I can go into my phone. I can run reports. I can run information. I can enroll people. I can share marketing campaigns. I can do that anywhere. I'm not tethered to a desk. Completely mobile, any time of the day. That's a beautiful thing. All of this technology, all of these products have led to these kind of awards. So this slide needs to be updated from last year. That's a little over 500 now. So a company that's 10 years old is winning around 50 awards, industry awards a year, not just in their industry, but across all industries. So you see awards here for communication and videography and recognition, the Telly Awards, the Inc. 5000. This is the credibility that is there to support you. So if you're launching a business and you think, well, I got to develop websites, and I have to develop videos and literature, no. It's all here for you. It's ready for you to launch, okay? Now, all of that's terrific. What's the heart of the company like? Right. They have something called Jeunesse Kids. The culture of the company is a culture of giving and of giving back. They have business all over the world. They see all kinds of conditions. They have a terrific heart for children. Last year's convention in Orlando, they brought in a foundation, a local foundation in Florida that deals with children battling cancer. They brought them on stage and said, through the weekend, we're going to take a collection from this crowd. We hope to contribute $50,000 to your cause, to helping children. Right? They do this wherever they have conventions in the world. At the end of the convention, they brought them back and said that $50,000 has grown to $211,000. That was enough stem cell research. That's enough bone marrow transplant to keep 21 children alive. That's the heart and soul of the company being reflected in those that join it. So when you sit in a group of people that are part of the Jeunesse family and you think, wow, there's a handful of folks here in my living room or in the coffee shop or at a local meeting, or tens of thousands that'll be in Orlando in September. You're welcome to join us, by the way. That kind of giving reflects the heart of the people that are attracted to this company. Right? So let's get started. If I was to launch this business, what do I do? Well, whenever I show this or I share this business with someone, there's 3 usually overriding questions. What is it? Well, we've answered that. It's Jeunesse Global. What do I got to do? Well, you do what you're already doing. You share products with people. All right, it's a word of mouth advertising. We've covered that. And then the other piece of it is, well, how much money can I make? How is the money made? Let's talk about those things. Okay. There's a compensation plan. There's 6 different steps to it over here, and there's a 13-minute video that will drill into the depth of this. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview, and there's something over here called 6 Plus. I want to touch on that. But number one, we all understand. You buy a product at one price. There's a markup, the retail, wholesale to retail, and you keep the profit. Well, that's very basic, and that's here. It's alive and well. The others are built on building teams of people. So when you hear someone say, well, this is where you make money off your friends. No, that's not right. You make money, you're compensated for helping your friends. If I help you make $1,000, the corporation will compensate me for helping you. Here's how that works, all right? So let's get started. Well, what's that look like? Enrollment, that's paperwork. We can take that over the phone or online. A kit is a selection of those products on that product wheel. Small kit, $200, just a handful of products. The major kits are $2,000, and that's a selection of products, used maybe multiples of them, okay? Most people get started right in the middle. There's a kit called the Ambassador Kit. That's where most people get started. That's probably the best kit, the best startup value, all right? That gives you a product to use, gives you almost the entire product line, gives you product to use, and more importantly, it gives you some product to share that you can sample and share with people. So that's you. You enroll, you get a kit, you get on smart delivery. We call you active. How's the business build? What's the first step that I take? That first step is usually something that we can accomplish within 24 to 48 hours. We help you share this idea with two friends, and one goes on your left and one goes on your right, and you build two teams. So the business structure is called a binary, team on the left, team on the right. They're enrolled, they have a kit, they're on smart delivery. Once that happens, you're qualified to be paid. We give you a title, we call you an executive, all right? That's the building block of the company. Don't miss this. Here's how difficult this is. You just do the same thing again, and you help the person on the left have a left and right, and the person on the right do the same thing, and we call them executives. You help 4 people become executives. You just build teams of executives. But when you help 4 people become an executive, you're step 1 on this scale. We give you a little title. It's a recognition. We call you a jade. That means you're beginning to get things going, okay? That's terrific. As you come up the scale, the way to get up the scale is simply to help more people. So to give you a quick example, level 1 here. You enroll someone, they're your first level. The corporation will pay you 20, maybe 30% to help them. That doesn't exist in corporate America, all right? There's too much competition. And here, it's cooperation. It's collaboration on building a business, all right? The money and the flow and building the business all comes from the consumption of products, from the use of products. There's something in here called cycles. As each team builds, we add up points. As each team builds, there's something called cycles. Off of one income alone, the cycles, you can make $25,000, $26,000 a week just on one of those incomes. That's the potential. And you're paid, you're compensated to help build the team, right? So it's a team effort. It's people helping people, not people making money off of other people, off the backs of other people, which might be the situation in corporate America or something, you know? Number 6 plus. This is the plus. Jeunesse has something called CCAP. The characteristic of a company that's really leading edge is a company that is not only innovative in their products and leading edge, but also leading edge and innovative in their business model, right? What they've done with the business model is simply this. We all live in an area maybe where there's empty stores. There's stores that used to be thriving and full of people, and whether it's a good thing or bad thing, whatever, but commerce is moving online. You hear this term retail apocalypse. Commerce is going online. Jeunesse understands that. People go online and shop. We share websites. We say, just Google this, just search this. And we talk about search engines. Jeunesse is out there capturing. They have a program called Corporate Customer Acquisition Program, CCAP. It's an online process. It captures online commerce, and we can participate in the acquisition and the capture of those customers. To the extent that we do that, Jeunesse has a business model that ships all the product to the customer, takes care of all the credit card, takes care of all the back office issues, sends the profit to you and I. And the next time that customer buys, because they're now your customer, every time they buy, the same thing happens. They ship the product, you get the profit. You can have customers in many different countries build that commerce, that income stream while you sleep. It's all possible through this kind of format that Jeunesse has set up. Okay, so that's cutting edge. To my knowledge, nobody else in the industry has this kind of a program. All right. So have you ever wondered, well, what if? Where could this take me? What could I accomplish? Well, here's a few things. Something to think about. When my wife and I were first married, we went to Florida on our honeymoon, and that's been over 46 years ago. And we had big dreams, and we dreamt about the cars that we're going to drive and the places we're going to live, and we're going to be able to travel. And then you start to realize that, well, the paycheck may not support that. You know, and suddenly all your cousins show up, FICA, FUTA, SUTA, healthcare, local taxes, and they never seem to go down. They just seem to go up. All right. And you end up shrinking that dream circle down to what you can afford. And we charged off, like many people do, trading time for money. And we charged off into this employee and self-employed. I mentioned Robert Kiyosaki earlier, his Rich Dad, Poor Dad series. This is a book called Cash Flow in which he describes these quadrants. And in a nutshell, he says, look, if you're an employee or you're self-employed, you may have a contracting business, you might be an attorney, maybe you're a doctor, but you're still selling time. You're trading time for money. It's a lineal exchange. 1 hour given, 1 hour worked, money paid. It's a one-to-one. Robert talks about the other side of this is being a business owner that builds networks, it builds processes, it builds leverage, it lives off of a profit stream, not an income stream, not a W-2. All right. Investors, that's Warren Buffett. That's a whole other seminar. We don't have time for that now, but that's a great place to be. All right. So the employee, Lois and I just found ourselves chasing money all the time. We participate in this program, and I've seen this 45-year plan. I've seen it termed the 50-50-50 club. You come out of college, you get a job, you come out of high school, you start to work, you start to come up the income ladder, you work 50 hours a week for 50 years, and at some point in time, someone hands you a box, maybe before you're ready to retire, and says, you're now retired. We no longer need you here, and your income drops by 50%. You see, as you come up that ladder, you reach a point where you top out, and there's no more income. Well, there's a minimum. When we hire you, we guarantee you this, but oftentimes they don't tell you that you top out. And you spend a lot of time going from job to job, from doorstep to doorstep, from one construction company to another, from one corporate office cube to another corporate office cube, hoping to get ahead, and you're paid not what you're worth. Common language. I'm not paid what I'm worth. No, you're paid what the job is worth, what the task value is worth. That's it. And that level of frustration somewhere, you're going to get the cardboard box, all right? A friend of mine just recently contacted me just a few days ago and said, I need to take another look at what you're doing. For the 5th time in 7 years, I've lost my corporate job in the biopharma industry because of corporate restructuring. 5th time in 7 years. At what age do you want to keep losing your job? He's in his 40s with a young family he's raising, terrific guy. You hate to hear these kind of things. That's what my wife and I ran into. We reached a point where we were just tired of that. All right. It puts people in something called the looking zone. All right. Now you go in and out of this zone through your employment life. At the top of that zone, maybe you're right out of college. You got your first job paying $35,000 or $40,000 a year. You're excited until the cost starts to add up. I need a new home. I need a new car. I get married. The kids start showing up. Or at the very bottom of that, you get your cardboard box, or you get laid off, or the Christmas bonus doesn't show up that you were counting on. Those things happen on all too often, on a frequent basis. But you go in and out of this constant emotional swings leads to this stress in the middle. There's got to be a better way. I sit in the same long line of traffic every day. I'm tired of doing this. I go to work in the dark. I come home in the dark, depending on where you live. I can't keep this up. There has to be more. I know where I'm at. I know where I want to be. The vehicle to get there is my job, and it's just not doing it, all right? My wife and I were, I got a job. I worked 2 jobs, honey. I got my 80 hours. You go get yours, all right? You just can't do that. It just doesn't work. The secret of success, and this is something that's brought forth by the leaders and the Legacy Business Group, and I'll show you that in a moment. They're going to help you understand, here's where I'm at. You already know that. Here's where I'd like to be. Well, what's that like to be? That's maybe having time to do what you want to do. Maybe that's having enough money to enjoy the hobbies that you like. Help take care of the kids' college education. Pay for your own college education, all right? Your own college debt. Help out parents. Help out causes that you're passionate about. But the vehicle just isn't getting you there. You've got something that's driving you, and it's those kinds of things, all right? These couples here created a business group called Legacy. Each one of these couples, the Smiths and McCormicks and the Salvatores, all found themselves in that zone of frustration, all right, where there just has to be something different. And they put together a business group to help folks like you and I learn a process. You see, Jeunesse has all the products. They do all the shipping. They set up the compensation plan. They take care of all the back office issues. But now how do I do this, all right? That's where Legacy steps in. The McCormicks, or I'm sorry, Lance and Tracy, the Smiths, they are what's called diamonds in the Jeunesse business, all right? They got involved in this industry in their early 20s, just feeling the frustration of not getting anywhere. By their late 20s, they were 7-figure income earners. They've gone on to be one of the top 50 income earners in the entire industry. Interesting that they're with Jeunesse. in the entire industry. Mike and Linda McCormick, they are emeralds in the Jeunesse business. They live in Houston, Texas. Mike's been recognized by his fellow attorneys, he's an attorney, as being one of the top 100 attorneys in the country. Linda, known internationally, Dr. Linda McCormick in neuroscience. Brilliant, brilliant people. Right? Have a beautiful home on a lake with all the toys. I mean, all the trappings of success that all of us would aspire to have. Working too many hours. 70, 80, 90 hours a week, just can't do that. That's the frustration that they were feeling, right? Too many hours. Speaking of too many hours, Karen Colombo to Salvatore, right? They live up in Connecticut. They are also emeralds in the Jeunesse business. Very well accomplished. They've been financially independent in this industry for over 40 years. They haven't worked for anyone else. When they got involved, Karen was a nurse at a hospital in charge of respiratory therapy, working 12 hours a day and on call for 12 hours a day. Sounds like all day to me, around the clock. Colombo was he was burning the candle at four ends, all right? He's getting up early in the morning at the crack of dawn, dark 30, going to UPS loading trucks, leaving there and going to college, leaving college in the afternoon, going to the job site and working construction, and in the evening trying to fix up old properties and renovate them, chasing tennis, trying to collect his rent, all right? He was probably getting 3 hours of sleep a day. I don't know. But, it's just that frustration, and then they find themselves going to have a family. And just something has to change. So they built this legacy business group. That's my wife and I in the bottom. We are so proud to be part of this team. It's just amazing. But what they've set up is a platform on which you can sit your ladder. They'll steady it before you ever climb a ladder and have somebody hold it for you and just give you that feeling of security. That's what they give you. That's what Legacy does. They've got, you can see here, this is just a snapshot of our website. There's PowerPoints, there's videos on product science, or how to get your business started fast. How do I get going? How do I get traction? How do I rank up? How do I come up those scales? There's online teaching. All of this is free. It's all there for you to set your ladder on and begin climbing your ladder with your goals at the top, all right? With things that you want out of life, as opposed to maybe the ladder you're trying to climb now with someone else's goals at the top. Might be leaning against the wrong wall, that ladder, or might run out of rungs. That's not the case here. The higher your business gets, they'll extend the ladder for you. There's no limit here, all right? Just no limit. So that's what's here for you. Here's the thing. Here's what you bring. Here's your part of the equation, and we can't control this. What is your prime motivating factor? It's all in place. It's all here. It's all ready to go. It's all proven. You can learn to do these things no different than you learn to use a computer or a cell phone. You can learn these processes. You're mentored all the way. What is your prime motivating factor? You see here, time with family, maybe time on the beach and not worrying about, we can only stay here 3 days. We'd like to stay a whole week, but we can't. This is the one vacation for the year, all right? Or I want to go play golf. I'd like to play on some of the golf courses over in England or Ireland or somewhere. Or just to be able to travel. Maybe I want to snow ski in parts of the country or parts of the world that I just can't get to now. Or I want to retire early. I want to quit working 2 jobs. I want to have more time with my children. I'd love to be there for my son's soccer games on Saturday morning, but I have to work. It's all those things that just come together as frustration. I think we can help you with that. You see, you have to make a decision. When should I do this? The timing is never right. There's never a perfect time. But the question that came up from my wife and I, well, if not now, when? If we keep doing the same thing for the next 5 years, for the next 5 years that we did for the last 5 years, is any of that going to make any difference? All right? Are we really going to get anywhere? I look at people that are doing what I was doing 5 years longer, 10 years longer, and think, wow, they're sitting in the same size cube. Maybe they got an artificial plant. Do they have the lifestyle? Do they have the things that I want? Maybe not. I assure you, if you took a look at the lifestyles of these 3 couples here, it's pretty amazing. They have the time and the freedom to do what they want. And you know what this industry will give you, what building a business here will give you? Choices. It'll give you choices that maybe you don't have. Maybe you'll never have climbing someone else's ladder. You can start now to climb your own. That's what my wife and I had. We had to make that decision. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the slide share here. That's the Jeunesse company. I hope that this has been informative in some way, and informative to the extent that it would cause you to say, I do have questions. That guy brought up some points that maybe I need to think about. Get back with the person that shared this with you. They have videos, as I mentioned, they go into depth on all of these things that I kind of went by real quickly. And they're anxious to share that and answer all your questions. So with that, I'll say thanks for watching. Have a terrific afternoon or terrific evening wherever you are around the world. Bye now.